Hello everyone, Ebba here. As you can see, I am in the hospital. Hospital clothes, hospital, and I'm back on oxygen. And I thought I'd just make a video just to let everybody know this is where I've been. We came in last Friday, which was May, I think it was the end of May. And it's Thursday today. It's the 4th of June, I believe. Yeah, it's the 4th of June today, so it's a Thursday. So I've been here a week. So what happened was, first off, I needed oxygen, and I knew I needed oxygen. So I got hold of the people that I had oxygen with 2 years ago. And I went to see them. I thought they can answer questions, they can help me figure out how to get back on oxygen. And because I was really breathing bad, and my oxygen levels were really low. And the other thing that happened was the day before I decided to go in and see these people, my leg was swollen. It had been swollen for a few days, and then all of a sudden it got a sort of a scratch type crack in it. I didn't scratch it, it just happened, and so that kind of worried me. And it was seeping a little. It wasn't it was not like a clear liquid. It wasn't bleeding. It was just not that deep, but it was just seeping a little. So I figured I needed to get to see a doctor and figure out what was going on. So when I was in with the oxygen people, I went in and I said to the consultant, I think I need oxygen. And then I explained I'd been there 2 years before and had been a client, and she remembered me actually from then. And so she took my oxygen level. It was 78, which is really low. And she said, yes, you need oxygen for sure. She went and got oxygen onto me immediately, and wanted to see if it would go up, and it did. Within minutes it was up, and she had it set on 2, which is not really high, but it was enough for me. And knowing that we can only have a portable in the motorhome, she said, well, the most the portable can do is 2. So we have to make sure 2 will work. And it did fine. It took me up into the low 90s, 91 to 93 within minutes. I'm sorry if it keeps going black, but I keep kind of leaning and the camera doesn't focus the same. So anyway, yeah, so I got oxygen, and then she suggested we come to where our doctor is. It's a small town that our family doctor actually is, and go into this hospital because it would be quicker. And it was a little bit, it wasn't hugely quicker, but it was a little bit quicker to get in through Emerge. And then I was admitted, and they never did take like a sample of what the fluid was, which later on probably they should have, but whatever. And so they've been trying to get the fluids down. I have a thing on my hand, this thing, and what that was this is like Lasix for fluid removal, and it was a liquid, and they were pumping it through. They basically fastened a needle on 3 of them at one at a time onto there, and then pumped it through, and at a certain rate, and not on an IV, just as a pump, and then they called it pushing it through. And so they were doing that until today, and then today they put me on to by mouth pills, all Lasix, and I'm also on an antibiotic to try and get, because my leg actually seems to have infected, So they're, trying to get that out, plus get the fluid out. My left leg, which was quite swollen, is down today to normal, which is such a relief. And my right leg is still a little puffy, but it is going down now, so I'm really happy about that. It was really quite hot earlier, but now that I've got the antibiotic, that's cooled down and not as hot anymore on my leg. So that's a good thing. And yeah, so here I am. Gary has been allowed to park in the parking lot, which is, thank goodness. Marie is actually in here visiting this evening. She comes in, she gets her pets, then she goes and finds a place and lays down. She's quite content to just be in the same room as I am. But her and Gary go out. They'll be probably going in another 15-20 minutes out to the motorhome for the evening, and then I basically curl up and go to sleep, and I wake up several times in the night because the Lasix, that's what it's for, go pee, and yeah, so I'm getting the fluids through my system now out, thank goodness. But it's been a go. It has been quite a thing. Lots of nurses and doctors and all sorts. The hospital the last couple of days has been super busy. This last night, night before last, they had 2 babies born. So today I think the babies went home. But, so everybody was kind of excited because, babies are great. So, so here I am. And I just wanted to let everybody know that watches the channel regularly that this is where I am. I won't be able to go back and check messages until after I'm out of here in the motorhome. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to upload this until after I'm out of here because I can't seem to find internet. Gary's got it on his computer, but I don't have it on mine. So I'm not sure why. But it's not showing up. The free one is not showing up. So, but even if it's not, even if I don't get it until after, then I'll get it up as soon as I can. And then we have to go, I have tests that have to be done. I have what they call congenital heart failure. It doesn't mean that my heart's stopping. That's not what it means. It means that my heart isn't strong enough to pump through the amount of blood and fluid that it needs to keep up with my system. And they don't know why, so that's what the test will be for. So I have to go and do an EKG and maybe other tests, I don't know, to get that and figure that out. And then I may be on medication. I may not, it depends on what it is and how we're going to deal with it. But so it's been, like I say, quite a go. And but it's been good. Gary's been with me daily. He comes in for a few hours every day, and then has other things he does too. But he's been able to work on his computer and do things on his computer. I've done a lot of playing cards on my iPad. I've read several books. I found actually we went to Value Village before. We had gone a few days before. And I found some magazines that were really cool. They're called The Good Old Days. They're from the 70s. And they have stories in them. Pardon me. Pardon me. They have stories in them that are sent in from people, from ordinary people, about different things that happened. I'm yawning at you, I'm so sorry. In the late 1800s into the early 1900s, like in 1910, it's about as far in as it goes. Sometimes a little bit further, but yeah, so very interesting stories, and they're all personal and they're like sort of real stories from people's lives. Sometimes it's about their grandparents or their parents, and sometimes it's themselves, because in the 70s, somebody from the early 1900s would still be alive if they're healthy. So it was interesting reading through those. And then I also got 2 books that are cookbooks, cookbook magazines. So one is making meals for one or two people, and the other one is eating cheap. So from the 2018, eating cheap, but the principles are still the same. You know, the food that was cheap then is still the food that is cheap comparatively today. So yeah, so those have been fun to read too, because I really do enjoy a good cookbook. Lots of pictures, lots of yummy looking food. And the food in the hospitals is not that great, but you know, I'm eating it, and my potassium is low because it's not that great. But you know, we deal with what we deal with, and you know, I'm being looked after, and that's a good thing. So I'm gonna love you and leave you now, and it's a little over 10 minutes now, and I will get this up if I can today or tomorrow, and if not, it may have to wait until I'm out of here and back in motorhome and have our internet again. So take care of yourselves, and you know, I hope that the world is treating you nice, and that you're enjoying your life. Talk to you soon. Bye.